Ben, a 2-1 win at EGHAM. You talked on Wednesday night after Southall about the importance of following up that win with another result. It looked like it was going to be a point apiece, and we smashed it at the end. What are your thoughts?
Well, the message before the game was that we haven't been good enough from a off the pitch, on the pitch perspective in terms of consistency. We know that it's something that we did for a short period, and something that we have to get into our form as such. Just because we spoke about just before the game with the players that you go and beat Southall Wednesday night. If you don't get a result today, when I say result, I'm talking points.
Yeah.
Right. Saturday almost is worthless, because if you beat the teams in and around you, that's great. But then you go and don't back that up with results, things stay the same, and you can't get yourself out of that little pack. And to do that today in the last minute is a big result for us, massive.
It was a really difficult game conditions wise. It was raining, it was a slick surface up against a direct strong side. I thought defensively there's a lot of resilience shown, and as you were just saying there off camera, that's maybe the kind of thing we've been criticised for this season.
Yeah, we get criticised defensively. We've made my personal impact on the team and the game. I've made wrong decisions in terms of setups, defensive structure, potentially lineups. So we have rightly so been criticised for that. From a defensive side, all across the pitch, I always include everybody. And we've made a few tweaks of recent weeks, and that's something that you can start seeing. I would include Westfield, I'd include Bedfont, I'd include Southall as results where defensively we weren't that bad at times, but in fine moments in the 3 wins we've come up with the goods, and today was always going to be one of those games with the condition, the way the pitch was playing. And they're a good side, they're a side that's in your face, they're aggressive, they're strong, they've got long throws, set pieces that can cause you problems. Their goal comes from us switching off as a collective right on the stroke of half time. But I thought we managed the conditions very well, because they were only going to get worse in the second half, because the rain didn't stop. The pitch was going into a place where you probably think if you had to pick the two sides, it probably suits them better in terms of the way that we like to set ourselves up. But it shows that we've got another side to us, and it shows character, resilience to go and get a winner. The boys didn't want to stop at a draw, or a draw would have been a big result away from home in these conditions. But we've gone and got a winner, and that's the sign of a good side, and it's the sign of it's the result that makes the change room scenes at the end feel so much sweeter. Yeah,
we were just in the change room, and it was bouncing in there. Understandably, 2 wins in a row, 3 wins only before we'll do that. But you got players coming back to fitness now, and again we saw the benefit of having that stronger squad when you lost Nico at half time to a heavy knock, and Victor came in and played really well.
Yeah, I thought Victor would at half time would just give us a little bit of an extra body in midfield, where the game was so stretched in terms of first and second balls were so important. I thought we would defend in a lot of set plays and long throws, and I thought he would give us a little bit of a height, so that's why we made the decision to go in there. I thought he did really well for the second half. He allowed us to get a foothold in the game, allowed us a bit of a presence in and around first and second balls. Brad's come on. Brad was injured in the week. He's not ready to start the game, but he's come on and made an impact that we'd all love him to do, that he was doing at the start of the season. We thought a bit of legs in regards to defensively he would come on, but he's come up with the goods right at the end of the game, with a great little role in terms of his defender, and a fantastic finish. Tarjay, he's just come on, wins us the throw-in that leads up to that goal. So yeah, like you said, I think our bench was always going to be important today with how heavy the pitch was and how leggy some people would get. Nico's injury has come off the back of his foot getting stuck in the mud. So it just shows you the importance of having options off the bench in different areas, and we've got players that can go and do jobs where they need to, and that proved to be a subs won the throw and a sub scored the goal. So that's kind of your importance in a nutshell.
Looking ahead, we're coming to the end now of this really busy spell where it's been 2 games a week for 2 months. Met Police, another tough away game Tuesday night. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course. Listen, we're on the back of away wins that we hadn't had in a long time as a football club. We've now got ourselves another one, the first one came in difficult conditions in terms of the rain. It's come again today, and it's that's just a sign of the character that we're starting to see from the squad, and from myself as well, because it's not easy at times. When you're down in the dumps, it's not easy. So I hope they enjoy that tonight and get some rest before Tuesday, because Tuesday is a big game for us. I think if you look at where the league table settles in and around Christmas, we spoke about November being a month for a lot of points. Come January, the league starts to take its settlement. So I think in the lead up to Christmas, it's important that we go and get as many points as we can. And who knows, we might be in a place where the expectation of the football club, we might find ourselves there. That's the aim. It's been the aim from the start. It's the message that we always put on ourselves. And I'm a happy man today. I'm off to celebrate my friends Molly and Steph's engagement. So I'll be having a few Guinnesses tonight, mate.
Nice one here. Well deserved.
Cheers. Thank you.